And for those who didn't see, there is this is the man, that conservative man, because that matters, right wing conservative nut job, Nigel Edge, who pulled up on his boat in North Carolina and opened fire into a bar and a crowd of people. A suspect has been arrested in the shooting that left 3 people dead and 8 others injured when a gunman on a boat opened fire with an assault rifle on a waterfront bar in the coastal North Carolina city of Southport. The suspect, Nigel Edge of Oak Island, North Carolina, has been charged with 3 counts of first-degree murder and 5 counts of attempted. Southport Police Chief Todd Coring said in a news conference on Sunday, Edge is also charged with 5 counts of attempted murder with deadly weapon with intent to kill or injure, Coring said. Edge is being held without bail in Brunswick County Jail, and first court appearance is scheduled for Monday. Today, evil has come ashore in Southport, North Carolina, ironically enough, at the very place which once served as a backdrop to the movie Safe Haven, said John David, the local district attorney, referring to the 2013 movie starring Julianne Hough and Josh Duhamel. The shooting began at Southport Yacht Basin at 9:30 p.m. on Saturday when someone on a boat coming up Cape Fear opened fire on an American Fish Company, an outdoor bar venue, said Cheyenne Ketchum, the city's public information officer. The boat then proceeded up the intercoastal waterway. So not only did the fuckface pull up on a boat, open fire, he ran. Coring said that shortly after 10 p.m., the U.S. Coast Guard observed a single individual matching the description of the shooter. The assault rifle was used in the shooting. The Coast Guard.
Evil has come ashore in Southport, North Carolina. The thin veneer of peace and tranquility which has enveloped this idyllic waterfront community was shattered last night by gunfire that came from the water.
At approximately 9:30, members of the Southport Police Department were dispatched to calls of shots fired with multiple injuries at the American Fish Company. Reports came in rapidly of a boat sitting in the waterway, reports of a subject shooting multiple patrons of the establishment. The boat fled the ICW toward the Oak Island Bridge. Shortly after 10 p.m., the Coast Guard observed a single individual matching the description of the shooter loading their boat at a public boat ramp. Coast Guard crews detained the suspect.
Yes, Nigel Edge is a resident of Oak Island. We are familiar with him at the police department, so I want to acknowledge that as well.
I will say that North Carolina is a state for which the death penalty is a potential, and my office does seek it in appropriate cases.
What do all 3 of these men have in common? Why is the CNN article referring to the Southport, North Carolina shooter Nigel Edge focus on the honorable things that he's done in the military? We don't care. Nigel Edge pulled up to a restaurant via boat, unalived 3 people and injured 8 others, then sailed away. I'm sorry, CNN, I'm not falling for this victim backstory for someone who took innocent lives.
It was sadly a really violent weekend across the country. I'll start in North Carolina, where 3 people were killed and 8 more injured when a gunman opened fire, spraying bullets from a boat as it passed the American Fish Company, a busy dockside restaurant in the town of Southport. The alleged shooter, Nigel Edge, is an Iraq War veteran who told police he suffers from PTSD. Law enforcement sources say Edge is a QAnon conspiracy theorist, and his checkered past also includes a lawsuit against American Idol star Kelly Pickler. The two attended the CMT Music Awards together back in 2012, and at the time, Edge called her an angel and, quote, the most sincere person I know. But this past February, he sued her, claiming she tried to poison him with a laced glass of whiskey the night of that very award show. Now, the motive of the North Carolina attack is still under investigation, but other disturbing lawsuits filed by Edge include claims that a church in the same town where the shooting took place was part of a plot to murder him. The former Marine says that he was wounded in 2 separate IED attacks during his 2006 tour of duty. In a book he wrote called Headshot: Betrayal of a Nation, he claims those incidents were also part of a conspiracy to kill him.
Both shootings in North Carolina and Michigan were carried out by Marine vets, and as a Marine vet, I want to kind of explain some of the mindsets that I came across while I served. Okay, so there was at one point I was a Corpus course instructor, and during this time we was doing a Land Corpus seminar. So we're asking the questions, why did everybody join? We come across one particular guy. He answers questions. He says he wants to know what it's like to kill somebody, verbatim. Before you ask, yes, he's a white boy. Okay, so he's answering this question, and I was like, all right, can you elaborate? He elaborates. He said he wanted to know what it's like to be in combat. He wants to know what it's like to be in war. He wants to know what it's like to, kill somebody. What does that feel like? And so I had to explain to him and the whole class, like, that's not a normal mindset to have. You shouldn't have that. Seek therapy, seek counseling, because that's weird. And I personally do not agree with having that mindset, serving or not serving. I think it's strange. Infantry are the only people that I might give a pass for. But even then, I don't agree with having the desire to want to kill somebody. There's a difference between having the desire to protect and then having the desire to kill. That's two completely different things, okay? And so a lot of the times these people have these mindsets like this because they watch it in the movies. They see it in our history where it's a white man jumping on a grenade, a white man, gunning down 200 people, a white man doing something in a helicopter. Like, they see these stories and hear these stories, and they believe that their purpose will be fulfilled if they're in war or if they're in combat. And they believe that serving, that is important, but it doesn't have to be that way. This is why they harp so much a lot of times they harp so much in the military that everybody's role is important. You don't need to be in war. You hear all the combat stories from combat vets that come back and say, I don't know what the hell we were doing over there. We were just wasting time. We were killing people for no reason. We're doing stuff for no reason. They tell these stories, but for some reason they don't. It's like the ones who joined ignore all of those. They ignore those stories. They think that they need to have a story to tell somebody, and you don't. That's why a lot of them also join the police department, because again, they want to know what it's like to have a sense of purpose, and they want to have a story to tell one day. A lot of them want that. They want that experience so they can say that they did it. And it's strange to me, but that's just me. So again, the only time I okay the mindset, if you're infantry and you have to go to war, but even then I still think the desire for it, nah, that shit weird.